Working 18-hour days, I slipped and I fell. Winter's up and hit me, I had to change. Well, there's no way to sustain it. You'll crash and burn. Will not be able to work and no way to earn. Change well, and then you can leave. Change well, and your kids you can feed. Turn your life around for the final bell. It's now or never, you have to change well. It's now or never, you must change well. Welcome to another session of the Change Well podcast. Now, last week we talked about the 6 weapons of weight loss warfare. And today we're going to talk about and follow that up with the 10 best weight loss travel tricks that I've learned over my weight loss journey. Some people say losing weight and traveling are diametrically opposed, but I beg to differ. I lost over 170 pounds in a year and a half while traveling weekly. I got on a plane each week at 5 a.m. and left for home on Friday at least after 5 p.m. Most of the time I'd left at 7 p.m. and got home like 1 a.m. in the morning. That year, despite all that traveling, on every single week, I lost 3 pounds or more a week. In addition, I had to deal with many delays in the airport and twice had to stay over a weekend because of blizzards. You know, there are 10 great tricks to lose weight while you're traveling. So I'm going to channel my inner David Letterman and give you my top 10 lists. First, when you walk into the hotel, get a refrigerator when registering. When registering and later checking into a hotel, I always ensure I have a fridge. That way I can shop for healthy snacks ahead of time or get some meals from the breakfast buffet, like hard-boiled eggs, store them in my cold refrigerator. And so when the hunger pangs hit it late at night when I'm working on something for work, the next presentation, I don't go downstairs and pick some snacks up. I have some healthy snacks in my refrigerator. Now, if you're in a extended stay hotel like Residence Inn, they usually have a refrigerator as part of the common setup. But a lot of times, if you're in a different hotel, you have to request it. So make sure you request your fridge and you should be good to go when hunger pangs hit you. Second, check in with the concierge lounge. Like many people that travel a lot, I had the concierge lounge available to me for free. And each night they put out a spread with a bunch of vegetables and 2 or 3 offerings of appetizers. A few of the appetizers were unhealthy, but you could always count on the vegetables, and you could count on 1 or 2 appetizers to be somewhat nutritional. It saved a lot from going out to eat and filling up on steaks and burgers. Also, you save a lot of money that way. So the best thing to do is go out to the concierge lounge, fill up on some vegetables. So even if you're going out to eat with some colleagues, you're full and you can get something easy. Also, in breakfast, make sure you grab some lean protein from them, put in your trusty refrigerator. And last but not least, grab a few bottles of water. 9 times out of 10 when you're hungry, it's just a substitution for being thirsty. Number 3, walk to work. Hey, I very seldom rode an Uber back and forth to my workplace, even though my hotel usually was a mile or 2 away. I walk to work unless it's pouring or 10 below. And sometimes I got to say that did happen in the Midwest. But later we'll talk about skywalks, and that's a way to get around that. I would always pick a hotel about a mile away, so you get 2 miles in no matter how much work you got to do that day. Remember always to bring a book or tape or podcasts. Libby is a free library app that gives you audiobooks. So you're using your time wisely while you're walking. You may be also able to take a work call while you're walking to your work. It gets you outside and you barely notice the activity while you're walking to work. Number 4, coffee cups are not just for coffee. I have a secret weight loss weapon when traveling the road. It's coffee cups. This remarkable tool is ubiquitous at hotels. And here are 3 simple weight loss hacks related to coffee cups. The first one is obvious. When you drink coffee, it's a diuretic and does some other things to your constitution, and you end up in the restroom. So drink your early morning cup of coffee, but don't drink 2 because remember, you're walking to work and you want to make it on time. Second, they are the perfect hard-boiled egg container. Hard-boiled eggs are almost as ubiquitous as coffee cups at the hotel breakfast counter, and they are an ideal snack for protein or even a lunch. A standard coffee cup can hold 3 large hard-boiled eggs. Place a lid on it, label it, and now you have a ready-made free lunch to stick in the office refrigerator. Coffee cups can also serve as containers for fresh fruit, often set up at the breakfast buffet, and even oatmeal. You can put oatmeal in there, put it in the fridge, hit it with a microwave at lunch, and there you go. You got a healthy lunch. You can also save money because you're using the free food. So if you're not on an expense account, I know most everybody is, you can save money that way. Lastly, coffee cups are a lot larger than those little tiny plastic cups they give you next to the infused water. So you can get a coffee cup about 16 ounces of infused water, and there you go. You got your water to drink. Again, don't mix coffee and water while you're walking to work because it could be troublesome. But have the water for later. 5, box it and bring it to Boots. Now we'll talk about who Boots is in a second. Portion control is the key to keeping your weight down and your friends happy. In my case, my friend is a bear/dog named Boots. He is a Bernese mountain dog, and he's Port Chow, so he looks just like a bear. And if you go look at the associated with blog with this, I have a picture of Boots sitting in the beautiful bluebonnets of Texas. So when I go out to eat dinner and I'm not eating at a concierge lounge, let's say I'm ordering a 10-ounce steak. They never have anything less than 10 ounces. Don't ask me why. I tell them, I want you to cut it in half, bring out 5 ounces for me, and put the other in the box immediately. That way I cut my calories in half, and if I'm leaving home that day, I can make my dog leap in delight because he has a nice ready-made steak waiting for him. This trick also works for later meals in your trusty fridge. So like if you're not leaving, you can't bring the food on the airplane, whatever, you could save it for the next day, and that could be your lunch. Half your plate and make your friend feel great. Number 6, eat like a plebe. When we're on the go and travel and we try to eat fast. And the key is the more you repeat, the faster you eat, the more you repeat. And just think about a buffet, right? You eat fast, you go get another helping at the buffet. So when I'm out on the town and traveling, I try to channel my plebe year at West Point and eat like a plebe. We learned to eat slowly at West Point by squaring our meals, so we would not wolf down food. Here is how you square a meal. You lift your fork straight up, Bend your fork at a 90 degrees to your mouth. Straighten your arm back out, and then bring your fork entirely down. You do not return your fork until you have thoroughly chewed your food. So we learned to take small bites so we could recite knowledge to the senior cadets and not have a mouthful. But it also serves to slow you down when you eat. And over 35 years later, I still eat like a plebe, especially when traveling. It just slows me down and I won't eat as much. 7. Don't stress. Catch up on your rest. If you let it, missing your flight home due to weather can be very, very stressful. But it also can be an opportunity to catch up on your rest. If you can't leave your hotel, catch up on your snooze time. Most of us are sleep deprived anyway, and a few extra hours of rest can do wonders for your metabolism. Your cortisol lowers while you sleep. And I've always found that the sleeping less is the major cause of any weight gain. On the flip side, overly worrying can also lead to stress eating. So when you're stuck, don't stress, catch up on your rest. A related one is number 8. When late, meditate. You do not have to get caught up in the noise and bustle when stuck in an airport. Most airports have a chapel, lounge, or quiet space where you can meditate or pray according to your practice or just to clear your head. There is a guide out there that can help you out. I have it on the blog that is in the show notes, but it's called www.sleepinginairports.net. So this is a good place. It shows you all the great places you can sleep in every airport or meditate. One of my favorite places is the chapel at DFW, but you can also find one of the gates that does not have a flight for an hour. I keep on my phone 3 meditation applications: Headspace, Calm, and the one I use the most is Hallow. And I use these for delays and listen to meditation on my iPhone. A plain delay or cancellation does not need to be a reason to go out, have a bunch of beer, and go off the wagon on weight loss and drinking. Number 9. Now this is for people that travel up north or in the Midwest. When it snows, find a skywalk. Getting stuck overnight in a hotel because of a blizzard can curtail your weekend exercise routine. It did for me several times. I do not know about you, but I don't like walking around on a treadmill. So a lot of times you can find interesting places to walk that are not outside but have a long distance and it changes up the scenery. One of my favorite places is the Skywalk in Des Moines, Iowa, which I've been several times. One time when my plane was canceled, I had to stay there all Saturday morning, but it had dropped to below zero. So I found the closest entry to the downtown Skywalk, rushed out, got into the Skywalk, and then promptly got lost. So I ended up walking like 15,000 steps. But I also had a great adventure looking at the Mesa corridors. I don't know if you've ever been in the Des Moines Skywalk or other Skywalks. They have these automatic opening doors and you think you're like from Maxwell Smart, from Get Smart. When I was finally done and I got lost so much, I had at least 5 miles in while braving the cold. And I only had to brave the cold for a few minutes before I got in the Skywalk. Last but not least, remember 3 out of 5 ain't bad. Now, I'm saying I'm channeling Letterman. I'm also going to channel my inner Meatloaf, the singer Meatloaf. He had a great hit called 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But this one applies to eating out when you're traveling. I can't claim this last rule because I heard it from a colleague at Weight Watchers. But at every meal, you have at least 5 things that can put on the pounds. You get bread, appetizer, entree, dessert, and alcohol. If you do all 5, you're asking for danger. The simple rule is to keep it to 3. Either bread, drink, and entree, or some other combination. Like if you're going to drink and have a dessert, you may even skip the entree. You may have an appetizer. While I can't claim this idea, I can confirm it works and claim the song that I'm about to sing as a parody to emphasize it. So now I'm going to make like Meatloaf from 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad and sing a song for you. Brief song. I want you, but I don't need you. And there ain't no way I'm ever gonna eat you. Now don't be sad. Don't be sad, 'cause 3 out of 5 ain't bad. Now don't be sad, 'cause 3 out of 5 ain't bad. Now, and you can use that song on your own podcast, but please don't sing it at a restaurant. I've never sang it. I'm sang it internally in my head once or twice. So in closing, you can lose weight while traveling. These are 10, but you may have others. If you do, please comment in our show notes about what are your ways to lose weight while traveling. And until the next time we meet, change well.